Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. It's time to talk some T20 cricket. We've now hit 20 games into the Big Bash season 15 of the BBL, and we're exactly halfway through the regular season. Some teams have only played 4 games, others a couple more, but the ladder is starting to stretch and take shape, and net run rate is becoming a separator. Today, we're breaking down games 13 through to 20 through the lens of our impact players, the performances that actually shape the results, 20 points on offer for each game, and we break it down across the deserving players. So let's get into it. Of course, if you're just joining us for the first time or you haven't before, make sure to hit subscribe, give the video a like, get involved in the comments, and you can check us out on all of your favorite social media platforms. At The Chris Mack Show is where you will find us. But let's start it off. Game 13, the Brisbane Heat up against the Adelaide Strikers. The Heat bowled first and dictated the game from the power play, striking early and never allowing Adelaide to stabilise. The Strikers were constantly trying to chase momentum and never quite found it. For our impact players, Xavier Bartlett was our pick, our impact player of the night. 8 points. He set the tone immediately, finished with multiple top order wickets, high pace, hard lengths, and had Adelaide under pressure from ball 1. Claimed key scalps of Short, Lynn and Harvey, the top 3 for the Strikers, plus a couple of catches and a sneaky late cameo with the bat in the Heat innings. Matthew Short, we gave 6 points, the Strikers' resistance. He top scored with a gritty 63, carrying the innings while wickets fell around him. The pressure couldn't quite see him home, but well fitting with 6 points. We move on to Matt Kuhneman. He gets 3 points, applying the squeeze he does so well with his spin bowling through the middle overs, dragging that run rate back at key moments and putting the pressure back firmly on the Strikers. Jersis Wadia, 2 points, showed composure in a difficult chase, picking up 34 off 16 balls at a fair clip. And Jack Wildermuth, 1 point. Late overs influenced to close the game out with a couple of key middle order wickets claimed caught behind. Game 14, the Melbourne Stars versus the Sydney Thunder, and this was a Stars clinic in Canberra. Dominant early, ruthless late, complete control. The impact players, we could have picked any number in this one, but we went with Harris Ralph for 6 points. Raw pace and raw disruption. Finished with 3 wickets at the end, including a crucial early breakthrough of Jilks that blew the Thunder's top order apart. We also gave 5 points to Joe Clark. He controlled the chase from the top. A fluent 60, never allowing scoreboard pressure to build. Glenn Maxwell got 4 points. Runs, leadership, and tempo management did exactly what the game required. Marcus Stoinis, 3 points, provided breakthroughs through the middle overs when the game needed some separating with his bowling. And then Peter Siddle, 1 point, vintage economy and control from the veteran. And finally, Matthew Jilks, 1 point, the only shining light for the Thunder on a tough night for the men in lime green. Game 15 saw the Hobart Hurricanes take on the Melbourne Renegades. Hobart sent Melbourne in and they chased down 163 at home thanks to some tight bowling up front, ensuring the Renegades never really got going. Our impact player of the match was Nathan Ellis with 6 points, elite bowling up front and at the death, finished with 3 wickets. His outstanding control at the back end managed to kill off any chance of late surges from the opposition. Matthew Wade, 5 points, the experienced keeper batsman, supporting with an innings in the chase, a composed 43, anchoring the pursuit and absorbing the early pressure. Gave Adam Zampa 4 points. The Renegades spinner was their best weapon. Took 3 middle order wickets, swinging the momentum back to them where he could. Rayan Ahmed, 3 points, subtle but important control with the ball. And Josh Brown, 2 points. Early hitting that pushed Melbourne to a solid start, but found very little support with the bat. On to Game 16, and the Sydney Thunder were in action again up against the Perth Scorchers. This was in Sydney at the showground. Perth absorbed pressure early, then blew the game open late in a classic Perth display. Our impact points, hard to go past Ashton Turner. A match-winning knock, blazing 99 from 41 deliveries to storm the Scorchers past 200. Aaron Hardy picked up 5 points, all-round impact, a quick 528 to boost the total, and 2 for 7 from 2 overs. That is some seriously tight bowling, turning the screws on the Thunder. Cooper Connolly, 3 points. He keeps on stacking meaningful contributions in everywhere for this side. Dan Sam's got 3 points for the Thunder. He was their standout with wickets and some late hitting, as he is prone to do. We go to Game 17 next, and it is the Adelaide Strikers playing host to the Brisbane Heat. and the Strikers were ruthless at home. Pace, power, and pressure dominating this one. Impact players, Liam Scott took the chocolates, 6 points, key wickets and tight control through the middle overs, taking 2 and only going for 12 from his 4 overs. Chris Lynn, dominant. Vintage Chris Lynn at his best. A dominant 79, striking cleanly and restoring belief at the top in a small chase. Jamie Overton picked up 5 points. Impact everywhere, 3 wickets with the ball, striking consistently. Luke Wood, the Englishman, 2 points. Left arm variation, causing some consistent problems for his opposition. And Matt Kuhneman, 1 point, finding a way to contribute again despite a tough result for his side. On to game 18, the Melbourne Renegades taking on the Sydney Sixers. And the Sixers leaned on their experience and composure to get this one done and take the chocolates. Impact players, Sean Abbott was our best. 6 points for him, 3 for 16 off 4 overs, key wickets and key leadership moments under pressure from the experienced man in magenta. Babar Azam, 4 points, pure class. A calm 58 not out, controlling the chase without ever looking like he was even slightly rushed. Joel Davies got 3 points for his contributions. Always there with important support runs. Jack Edwards, 3 points as well. Keeps delivering at critical moments. And Gurinder Sandhu, 2 points. The Renegades' best with the ball continues to deliver for them well into the back end of his career. And finally, Josh Brown, 2 points. Power hitting again, as only he can. The man is an absolute hitting machine. Game 19, Hobart Hurricanes took on the Perth Scorchers, and Perth arrived in Hobart and made a statement here, knocking them off. The impact player is, again, Aaron Hardy, outstanding, our player of the game. This was a tough one, but we gave him 9 points. Scored 94, controlled tempo and shifted momentum decisively. He's such a key cog in this Scorchers machine. Mitch Marsh, 8 points. He was only just pipped. He was locked in, though, a commanding 102, timing it sweetly and breaking the contest open. Ashnagar got 2 points for control in the middle overs. Cooper Connolly, 1 point. He keeps taking it over in a breakout season and is absolutely taking things to the next level, the young all-rounder. And finally, game 20 overnight, the Melbourne Stars versus the Brisbane Heat. A chaotic, high-tempo clash where the Heat found answers late to finally be the first to break the Stars' unbeaten run. There's plenty of solid efforts here, and we've gone with Max Bryant as our impact player. 5 points, explosive at the top, a rapid 48, setting the tempo immediately. Xavier Bartlett's got 3 points. He got more wickets again, more impact and continuing in all facets of the game. Matt Kuhneman as well, a consistent name in these impact points. Control under pressure, picking up 3 points. Nathan McSweeney, 3 points as well. Calm runs amid chaos, doing well in that middle order. Matt Renshaw, 3 points for an important middle order contribution, plus some tight late bowling. Blake McDonald, he picks up 2 points. He was the Stars' best with the ball. And Sam Harper, 1 point. He did keep the innings moving, but it wasn't enough. So that wraps up our impact players recap for each of the games. We now move on to our impact player leaderboard, and we will count down our top 10 today at the midpoint of the season. And in 10th place, it is Liam Scott from the Strikers, 11 points. Been a solid contributor for the Strikers and certainly continues to keep them on the cusp of finals spots as it currently stands. In equal 6, we've got Chris Jordan, Jack Wildermuth, Peter Siddle and Xavier Bartlett, all on 12 points. All players who've been outstanding in a handful of matches and continue to pop their head up and undoubtedly will be right there. Jordan started the season with a flyer. Wildermuth, Siddle and Bartlett showing their experience. Bartlett contributing in all facets of the game, batting, bowling and fielding. We move on to our top 5, and Sam Harper from the Melbourne Stars. He's put in some big scores. He's put in some tough knocks, even in that loss that they had. He sits in 5th place on 14 points. His clubmate, Marcus Stoinis, a consistent contributor, whether it be with the bat, the ball, or in the field, has picked himself up into 4th with 15 points. Aaron Hardy from the Scorchers, a couple of solid and strong all-round efforts. He can get you with the bat or the ball. He has 16 points to his name. Jack Edwards was out of the gates hard in some of the early games, has picked up some minor points lately, sits in 2nd on 17 points, but probably unsurprisingly, the man at the top from the Perth Scorchers, the all-rounder, the sensation, Cooper Connolly, is up to 18 points, leading only by a narrow lead. But just a reminder, some of the players have played some extra games. Some sides have played 6, some played 5, some have played 4. That's our impact player leaderboard at the midpoint. Let us know in the comments who we've missed out on to this point. But moving on now to where the standings are, including the net run rates. And the Stars, they sit on top despite that first loss. They are 4 wins and 1 loss. plus 1.4 almost on their net run rate. They are sitting quite pretty at the top. The Hurricanes, they're 4-2 after 6 games, a net run rate that is only just in the positive, plus 0.0017. The Scorchers are in third, and they're a little bit of a danger one for me. They're starting to find some form. Marsh, Hardy, Connolly all performing, plus plenty more. 3 wins, 2 losses, plus 1.248 on the net run rate. Brisbane Heat 3-3, a really poor run rate for them, though. That is putting them in danger of some of these other sides, especially considering they've played some extra games. Speaking of people that are putting the Heat in danger, the Strikers 2-2. If they can get some wins moving forward, they've got plenty of games to play, still 6 games to come. They will fancy their chances of getting into those 3rd and 4th spots. A solid net run rate at the moment without being outstanding, plus 0.395. The Sixers just behind them, 1 more loss than them, a slightly poorer net run rate, but not a lot of work to do to close in on those teams. The Renegades and the Thunder, the bottom 2, they are battling. 1 win each. The Renegades have played 1 less, but really poor net run rates, minus 0.879 and minus 1.463. Something needs to change, and it needs to change fast for these two sides if there to be any chance of playing finals. Remembering the Thunder played in the final last year and lost to the Hurricanes. So an interesting one, certainly, as to how that all shapes up. And as for the fixtures from here, tonight we've got the Sydney Thunder taking on the Hobart Hurricanes. We talked about where the Thunder are. This is must-win territory for them. Hobart can keep the pressure on the Melbourne Stars atop the ladder with a win here, so it'll be an interesting one for both sides. Plenty to play for. It is a rematch, of course, of last year's final, but you'd think the Hurricanes will go in as favourites despite being on the road. Then tomorrow, a double header as we look forward to the cricket test getting underway as well. Straight off the back of day 1 of the test, 6 p.m, the Stars and the Renegades at the MCG. It's a derby clash. These two sides, it won't matter that they're sitting 1st and 7th. They will go absolutely helter-skelter at each other. Throw form out the window. The Stars will go in as favourites, but the Renegades love nothing more than upsetting Big Brother right now. And then if you're up late, 9:15 tomorrow night, the Scorchers and the Strikers in Perth. Chris Lynn's in form. Mitch Marsh is in form. Plenty more are firing. This is fireworks guaranteed over there in the West. Can't wait to check this one out. Then on Monday night, the Sydney Sixers and the Brisbane Heat. Obviously, the Sixers away from their home ground at the SCG. They take this one to Coffs Harbour. It's two sides that are, I think, fair to say, inconsistent so far this season, but some top 4 implications certainly in play. And I tell you what, fingers crossed for a dry track. Coffs Harbour haven't been renowned at this time of year for putting on dry weather for the cricket. Most of the recent few years where they've had games scheduled have been impacted. So if we can get 40 overs in, that would be absolutely outstanding. That about brings us to the end, halfway through the Big Bash, and net run rate, form lines and impact players are really starting to matter and turn the dial in terms of ladder positions. If you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe down below. Hit the bell notification as well. Get involved in the comments. Let us know who we've missed, what we've got right, what we've got wrong. And we'll be back shortly with some more games to recap and pull apart in terms of the Big Bash. There's plenty to dissect. We've also got our test preview, if you haven't caught that yet, ahead of the 5th test, and there'll be daily recaps from the SCG, talking through what we've seen in the action, plus plenty more sport, and you'll find it all by hitting subscribe and following along on our socials at The Chris Mack Show, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, and on Facebook. And until next time, a big thank you to you for tuning into your home of the black and white of sport. No grey opinions here.